This is a response to, yes, social media is destroying civilization. He At first he says social media is bad. Yeah. Uh, he says it causes ADHD, but he's using jump cuts in the video where he's saying that videos are causing ADHD. Uh, Goes on to talk about what governments around the world have tried to do to minimize harm, laws they've tried to pass against social media. And in France, you can't have social media until you're 18. And this is mostly imposed upon young people by parents. It's just common practice. And the effect of that is that once they turn 18 and they get on social media, it doesn't interest them. It doesn't work for them. So he goes on to say he makes a proposal that we should regulate the time, regulate the runtime of videos, which is like just the dumbest thing anyone could possibly just say out loud on camera and then post. He says the point of these platforms are for amusement. It's like, no, actually the point of these platforms are for them to farm our data and manipulate the public into thinking that it's more right-wing than it actually is. The studies show that if you start a new Facebook, within 4 or 5 clicks, you're in MAGA land. Like, Facebook invented MAGA. Then he goes on to talk about books. I like books. I have a book here. It's called Micro Democracy. It was written about 8 years ago. It's about the oncoming war between users and the owners of these platforms. He's very optimistic. I don't think it turned out how we thought it would. So he says we're losing our national identity because we don't have a monoculture. And maybe social media didn't cause us to lose our monoculture, but the oligarchy definitely benefits from us not having a monoculture because it makes it harder to organize. He goes on to say that without a national identity, that we're going to lose our morality, which is just stupid. I'm not a good person because I'm an American. Like, I'm an anarchist. I believe that all human beings are good-natured, and proof of that is that we haven't gone extinct yet, you know. And we're social creatures, and that's how these devices, these platforms came to be, was that we like to socialize. It's part of our nature. And but that's not what these platforms actually do. Like, what they do is they pose as a neutral communications device, but then once they've got your eyeballs on screen, they're running all kinds of games on you. And most significantly, they're training people to become more narcissistic, like more like Mark Zuckerberg, like to see other people as objects for you to use to elevate your own status. Like, that's narcissistic. And you know, like, I've got 5,000 friends on Facebook, or you know, I've got 500,000. You've got 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. Like, do you know any of them? Have you ever had a conversation with any of them? Do you know their names? It's like, probably not. And so he says that we're losing our morality. It's not from short form videos. If that were the case, then, you know, commercials on TV, on, you know, the funny pages would have the same effect. It's just dumb. You know, Bubblegum Joe, Bazooka Joe, the little comic book and that, you know, that's not bad for you. It's ridiculous. You know, if that's all you're consuming, then yeah, that's bad. But that's, you know, parenting. If you're a young person and your parents see you doing that, then they should take the phone from you and be like, hey, that's dumb. Or just like try to get you to, you know, read a book or something. It's a parental thing. If you're an adult and you're doing that, then, you know, you're leading a boring life. So in all these short runtime videos, it's people sharing a common language, sharing their feelings, uh, playing music, airing grievances. Uh, it's totally healthy. There's nothing wrong with, short form videos. It's just a dumb argument saying that that's the problem. Like one of my favorite artists is a TikToker. Like he plays cello and he's always in a strange place and he grunts a lot. And he's famous. He's shown that, you can still make it. It's cool. He's a workaholic though. He's got like 1,000 videos. It's amazing. So at 11 minutes and 23 seconds, he's saying that the internet is bad, which again is stupid. It's just, the internet isn't bad. Social media is the problem. The internet is amazing. Like, we invented it with tax dollars. It's an American invention, and it should have brought the world, closer together. But then these platforms, corrupted what naturally manifested. So he's saying that the internet is bad because, people watching whatever they want when they want. And then that's what caused us to not have a monoculture or a national narrative is what he's saying. And, but that's just dumb. It's like, when I was a kid, I was listening to punk rock, and like nobody was listening to punk rock when I was a kid. And I didn't have a problem with that. I like Minor Threat. I know that most people don't like Minor Threat. And I'm okay with, if I'm the only person on the planet using the internet for, to listen to some Minor Threat. That's not a problem. And so proof that people are not losing their humanity is that, and also that being able to watch what you want when you want is not problematic, is that most of the footage of the genocide in Gaza was seen on and shared on TikTok. And the reason why that is because TikTok was Chinese. And so, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and Google, YouTube are all pro-genocide. Like, Google is in a bidding war with Palantir right now over who gets the government contract to be the world's spying agency. Like, that's what Google is up to right now, which is YouTube. And so then he goes on to gloss YouTube, and he's talking shit. He's saying, yeah, social media is bad, but this guy's not going to raise a finger against social media because it's his bread and butter. It's like military-industrial complex. That's what YouTube has done. The military-industrial complex is hard to confront because instead of just building a fighter jet in Iowa, what the military-industrial complex did was they build the wheel in Iowa, and then they build the right wing in Texas, and then they build the left wing in Washington, and then they build the tip of the plane in New York, and then the fins in California. And so then you can't just like go to the congressman in Iowa where they build the fighter jets and say, hey, we don't want to build fighter jets anymore, and then change that one congressman. You have to change all these congress people, and those are jobs too. Those are like good government jobs, with health benefits, and so the people that build that wing don't want to lose their job, so they're gonna lobby for whatever representative is in that district to keep their factory open, because that's their bread and butter. And that's what YouTube has done. They've hired so many people and scattered it so far out that it's seemingly impossible to confront, but it's not actually. So he says ADHD, yeah, it's causing that cognition problems. Yeah, I heard a report of an 8th grade teacher that she wrote a word on the chalkboard, and then she asked the students to write the word down, and then they wrote it down, And then she said, okay, students, look up. And then the students looked up, and then the teacher asked them, what did you just write down? And they could not tell her. And these are not students that are reported for having mental deficiencies. These are normal 8th graders. So this is what social media is doing to people. So at no point does he mention that all of these platforms are owned by right-wing billionaires that don't want to pay taxes. At no point does he mention, maybe these people have an agenda. It's absurd. And so his one proposal, so he says social media is bad. Here's my proposal. Let's make the run time 3 minutes and force people to watch it all the way through. No? Okay, bye. My proposal is 50 human beings can produce 100,000 comments in just 4 hours. If you have to use the same call letters and be nice, then you won't get in trouble, because there's nothing against organizing. You just can't harass people. But, if you use the same call letters, all 50 people, then you're going to show up all across the board. 100,000 comments in just 4 hours. And what will that accomplish? Well, it'll get YouTube's attention. It'll get every single person that we hit's attention. We'll get every single content creator that we hit's attention. And it will force every single person that we hit to communicate with other people who got hit. And maybe at that point we can start talking about forming a union.